Okay, right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for coming to our discussion today. And in today's discussion, we are going to discuss about something that currently happened to our country. It is about the policy from the governments about of back home movement 21. Okay, this policy, of course, happened because of the rate or the numbers of the COVID-19 victim that still dramatically increases in every time, locally in Indonesia or globally around the world. Our government, Mr. Joko Widodo, and also his friend, take an action actually to prohibit or for people to come back home. And then nowadays in our opportunity, we are going to discuss about this amongst our public figures being invited by me in this forum. There are several people that have already been invited by me as the moderator today. Those are Mr. Adi and also Mr. Arif and Mr. And so the most beautiful girl is Miss Eva. And then I want to greet first for all of them before starting discussion. Hello, Mr. Adi, how are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm great. How about you, sir?
Right. I'm really glad. Thank you for coming to our invitations in our discussion today.
You're welcome.
How's your condition? You're still good, right?
Yeah, I'm very good too.
Okay. And then also I want to welcome Mr. Arif. Hello, Mr. Arif, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. And you?
I'm really good. Thank you very much also for coming to our invitation in Mata Arifin.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. Okay. So actually, you still have a chance for coming with us within your business, of course, when you are PPT in your office. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate actually for your comment. And also, Mr. Mahasin. Okay. Are you with us now? Hello, Mr. Mahasin. Okay, I think Mr. Martin still have a trouble with the connection. Maybe later he will be with us actually in discussion today. And of course, we are really honored actually to be visited by the greatest scholar in our country, Mr. Hamim.
Masya Allah,
How are you?
Al-Karam. Alhamdulillah, Bukhair. I'm good.
Okay.
And what about you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamim, for coming to our invitation. Okay. Today discussing our COVID-19, as we know that actually you are someone who always actually a little bit disagree about the discussion or the policy of the government. And today we are inviting you to discuss about it, to discuss about this policy. I mean the new policy of the government. Okay. And then for the last one, I want to greet Miss Eva. Hello, Miss Eva. How are you?
Sir, I'm great. How about you?
All right. You are the only girl invited in our forum.
Yeah, the most beautiful here.
Okay, thank you for coming to our invitations also. I hope that later we can discuss about something great. And then actually, for your information, this forum or discussion is broadcasted online through social media, through YouTube, and also through channels of Mata Arifin. Okay, so along with us is actually also a lot the viewers around Indonesia. Thank you for watching our discussion. And in today's discussions, we are going to talk about the new policy issued currently by the governments about the prohibitions of going home or mudik in 2021. Again, we don't need to take too long actually about the discussion for today. We are going to talk with several guests that I have already mentioned before. About the new policies of COVID-19. As we know that the COVID-19 becomes a pandemic for our country since 2019 actually, or earlier in 2020. Up to now, it actually the second prohibition for us to not going home after the first prohibition in 2020. This a new policy issued by the government causes pro and contra among our society, and also even amongst the authority itself. It's like several of them pro or actually support the government policy to reduce the number of the spread of the coronavirus, and the others also disagree because actually the inconsistency of the government policy. So today we are going to listen from several guests that we have already invited about their opinions of this new policy. Again, I'm going to start from Mr. Adi first, actually, as the part of the government, especially from the fourth commissions, focusing on the policy of COVID-19, or in the bahasa kalau dari gugus tugas. I'm going to hear about your opinion, Mr. Adi. Why actually finally government announced that COVID-19 or 2021 Idul Fitri or Mudik is prohibited or is banned? What is the reason of the government actually? Why we are not allowed to go home again after a year ago? We were also prohibited to come back home. Mr. Adi.
All right. Thank you very much for the time, Mr. Arifin. Actually, this is very interesting discussion and problem. Why does the government give rule about this case, like mudik or going home? So actually, before we discuss about this one, we have to look at something that happened before. I mean, like a year ago, and also maybe not a year ago. We can see also the cases like COVID-19 is increasing. Was increasing. I mean, like just it was a new year, so the government gave or allowed, I mean, like free for everybody, and then they just take vacation, and we can see that COVID-19 was increasing at the time. So I think this is very good, rule from the government. Yeah, because I think if we do this one, it will help. I mean, the COVID-19 will be gone because we don't go. So the COVID-19 will not spread to, like someone else. Okay. I think my reason.
Okay, thank you, Mr. It's been that the government actually finally issued the policy of a prohibition coming back home. It is because of the previous experience in and also on Christmas, when the number of the COVID-19 increases because there is no prohibitions of right, or mudik at that time. So it is a basic reason why government now prohibit or really forbid people to come back home, that to make it happen twice and then increase more the number of the spread of. So, but I'm going to listen from the chair of delegation from the association in our country, Mr. Arif. So is it true actually what you see actually about the government policy? I mean, the reason of prohibitions for COVID-19 for Mudik 2021 because of the increase of the number of the COVID-19 because of the past holiday. So what about you, Mr. Arif? In the perspective of people of all there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Samsul Arifin, for the time. Yeah, actually, about government policy, that's good to stop the virus spreading. But however, there are some inconsistent and the governments in these differences in the policies or apples that have been set. So for the example, especially regarding whether or not online motorcycle taxis can transport passengers and the prohibition on going home. So if we take a look from there, that such as online motorcycle can be a virus carrier actually. And this is also related to the culture because Mudik happens once a year, and then our government actually ever say that we must be kind or we must live around the coronavirus because this virus cannot go in the short time. I mean, we need to try or to treat ourselves to live around them. So actually, Mudik that the government prohibit Mudik, I think that's not a good way because we have been in the 1 year facing the coronavirus, and then I think the society has already known how to solve and how to recover themselves on how to protect from the coronavirus.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, actually, Mr. Arif, for your response. It means that it's not only because of the Mudik, actually, the spread of the coronavirus can continue to occur, but there are many causes or there are many aspects like online motorcycle, bike, like you said before, the first carrier. It means that on the other side, actually, we prohibit people to move. It's like we restrict the movement of people, but in the other side, the government also doesn't prohibit the other activities. And as mentioned before, that government, even the president, even said actually that we have to live side by side with the coronavirus, and that we have been 1 year actually. It means that we have already had an experience to encounter or to face the virus. So it's meant for you, prohibitions of Mudik 2021 is not really good idea for this year. That's actually what you mentioned. Okay, so I'm going to come to Mr. Sorry, Mr. Hamim. Okay, I'm so sorry, Mr. Please, what is actually the response from you? It's mean that the associations, I mean the delegation from the association before mentioned that it's not really effective ways for prohibiting this one.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, in this case, I really agree with the statement from Mr. Ari. Okay, then I really disagree and opposite about the statement from Mr. Adi. In this case, as the delegation from the government. Okay, the government has issued that okay, mudik is prohibited, but the Menteri Perhubungan or the Menteri Perhubungan, yeah. Okay.
Transportation Ministry.
Yes, Transportation Ministry. Okay, has issued that okay to open the tourism place. Okay, so this very contradiction. In the opposite, in one side, prohibit the mudik or going home, and in the opposite, open the tourism place. Okay, in this case, the opportunity of spreading the virus in tourism place is wider than the opportunity of spreading coronavirus in home, okay, or in a local, because in tourism place, many people are gathering in a place, and we don't know. Perhaps many of them are already got virus. So this is my question to the government: why the government in this case open the tourism place but prohibit the mudik? Okay,
Okay.
that's what one problem is. The opportunity of spreading the virus in tourism place is wider.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Hamim. And what about Miss Eva? Actually, there are 2 points before that when the mudik is prohibited now this year, but government said actually allow the tourism destination. I mean, people are allowed to go to somewhere, to go to some places, as long as they can keep the health or the health protocol. They are not forbidden actually to go to somewhere. You are from the government actually. What is the response from you about the two statement before, Ms. Eva?
Okay. Responding the statement from Mr. Arif and Mr. Hamim that I got from Mr. Arif last time. The rule from government is inconsistent about the forbidden of mudik. Yeah, there are some people that are allowed to mudik actually, so it makes the rule as still inconsistent. But as we know that COVID-19 isn't something that we can see physically. So we don't know when we are deciding to go home. We don't know what will be happened on the way. So the government decision for forbidding us to go home is, I guess, good. It's for anticipation because in our home, we surely have grandparents or all people in our family. So it's kind of anticipation for not spreading the coronavirus more. Okay, that's my opinion.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Eva, for the great opinion. It's like that. When we are opening the tourism destination actually is controlled by the government. But when you are allowed to go home, when you are at home, who will control you? It means that people are now quite difficult to be managed. And then to anticipate it, mudik is prohibited this year. And then also in our home, we have a lot of people, old people like our mother, maybe, or grandmother, grandfather. They are really vulnerable actually to get the virus. So actually, it is a good decision from them, the government, why they have to control or prohibit the mudik in 2021. Okay, I'm going to listen to the response actually from the other presenter today, our guest, Mr. Mahasin, about this one. Like the government said before that actually to anticipate the government, anticipate actually the spread of coronavirus to the place that is really difficult to control. It's mean that our hometown. So, Mr. Mahasin.
Okay, thanks for your time. Because we can use the protocol with each other from Singapore coronavirus, and then you not so far with the family in the home, and then can go home with the protocol, because I'm disagree because the fire is not mudik from the Lebaran. Okay, you get the point?
Yes, I get the point from you. It's meant that when we are in with our family, it's like that. Of course, we are sure we can keep our protocol because we stay with our beloved one. Is it true? It means that even sometimes in the other condition, people who just go to tourism place. They don't really care about people around them because they don't know each other about them. Tourism place is allowed, but going home, for meeting our parent after a year ago, actually we are not allowed to go. But now we are forbidden again. We are prohibited again to come back home. So it's mean that for you, it's not really logic to issue this new policy from the government. Maybe Mr. Adi can give the response again. Actually, he said before that living at home, gathering with the family is like a great thing to do during the pandemic nowadays. So if we are allowed, we are not allowed, or we are prohibited to go home. So something was happened to us.
All right, thank you. So is it my time?
Yes, Mr. Adi, I want to listen to your response from the statement before.
Okay. So actually, this is very good discussion, though, like from Mr. Arif and also Mr. Hamim and Mr. Pasim. But I just want to point that actually it's already mentioned by Miss Eva that to anticipate, that's the key. And last time, Mr. Arif told us that, and Mr. Hamim too, that why if we as government ask them to not go home, but why sometimes like we still can go to tourism places or something like that. Yeah, it's like if I said that it's already managed by the government, but guys, if we go home, that actually massive action, so it's very hard to control. That's massive action. It's different with if we compare it with it going to some places, that's very different. So if we go home, because there are a lot of people wants to go home, they want to meet their family, and yeah, we will have lots of people there. So we call that one as massive action, and it's also mentioned in some news like Kompas and Liputan 6, Liputan 6. So mudik is massive action. So it's very hard to control it. That's why that's the best option to give from our government is, yeah, we cannot allow them to go home. And also actually it's fine because we still have phone, we have still technology. So place is not matter anymore. So we can call our parent maybe if we miss them, because the condition is not support us to go home to meet them. So that's actually my reason why strongly.
Okay.
I agree with the government. It's very gonna be dangerous if we. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mr. Adi. It's like as previously mentioned that mudik is a massive action where many people, mass people actually moving away together to their home. It's like really difficult by the government to be controlled, right? And also for meeting actually nowadays, because we live in technological era that everything is advanced in technology. We can make a video call for them, yeah, only for anticipating it first. It's like that we hold our, even though we miss, we can hold it for a moment and then we can postpone it for next year. You mean it's been to anticipate actually the spread of the coronavirus? Is it true, Mr. Adi?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, well, so what about you, Mr. Arif? Do you have any response anymore actually?
Yeah.
If only our family, we can use technology. And that massive action is quite difficult to be controlled, Mr.
Yeah, I think I have a bit objections what Miss Eva said and also Mr. Adi said. Talking about anticipations that the government policy has already organized about vaccine, I think that's one of the anticipations, because this is about mudik that it's related to culture. So I think most of the people, especially the Indonesians, is so difficult to be to prohibit about this issue. I think mudik may not be prohibited. It's just only need to be handled. I mean, how the rules that the government apa namanya, creates works well. So I think the people can do it well. I mean, they can still mudik, and also they can still meet with the family, with the protocol, and also from protection, vaccine protection, I think. So that is the aim of vaccine, I think. The government organized vaccines, yeah, to protect, to minimize about virus spreading. I think that's about my objection, Mr. Samsul.
Okay, so you mean that government just need to handle it, not to prohibit it. And even, now government has already held, I mean, the vaccination. Even most people now are vaccinated. Why don't we just focus on vaccinating people rather than just prohibiting them to move? That is the point from you. Nice. Okay, so Ms. Eva, vaccination actually, the solution is not prohibition for going home. What is your opinion about it? Hello, Ms. Eva.
Your microphone still mute.
Okay.
Ms. Eva, are you with us today? All right, okay. Mr. Arif said before that actually vaccination is solution for us, not to prohibit people to go home. Okay, what are the functions of the vaccination for if we are still but prohibited to go home, difficult to, we just need to handle the how to manage actually the movement of people, not to prohibit them to go, because normally we have to move. Okay, what about you, Ms. Eva?
Okay. Government has given vaccine to anticipate the spreading of COVID-19. As we know that Indonesian people, all of us want to take that occasion, right?
Yes,
For being injected by a vaccine. And there are some people are still we don't know, are they infected by COVID-19 or not. And then most of people also feel lazy to go to hospital, check their condition. Are they spread of COVID-19 or not? And when we are on the way, we're gonna meet a lot of people. As I said before, that go home, we will meet a lot of people on the way, and we don't know, they are surely infected by COVID-19. Okay, so the vaccine isn't merata, belum merata for Indonesia.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Eva. It means that not all people now are already vaccinated. I mean, also there is a policy. This policy is issued because government also want to efficiently implement the program of vaccination. It's like that when we are now still on processing of vaccinating people, but if the people actually are allowed already to go home, it's like that the vaccination program will be useless because we cannot control it well. It's like that we have to use both vaccination and also prohibition for moving, especially in Mudik 2021. That's actually your main point, right? And
yes.
The habit of people like lazy to go to hospital, they don't want to check whether they get positive in COVID-19 or not. Is it true or not, Mr. Hamid, actually, Mr. Hamid, I mean about the condition in society. It's like that when we prohibit people, when we prohibit our society to go home, it can easily actually implement the program of vaccination.
All right, thank you very much for time. Okay, From me, I say that to first of all, to respond the statement from Mr. Adi, okay, the massive action of going home of the people, it can increase the spreading of coronavirus. Okay, I totally disagree because you know that the opportunity, okay, once more, the opportunity of opening tourism place or gathering in a tourism place is wider. Okay, the opportunity of spreading coronavirus than going home because we talk about mental health or health mental. Okay, because apa ya? Okay, vaccine. Actually we have known that the government already issued the vaccine Santara. Okay, then
Hmm.
and then the case is 2020 of the volunteer, got worse after using the vaccine Nusantara. Okay,
Hmm.
instead of better, but going worse. Then vaccination is not the key of prevention of coronavirus. Okay. For me, the key is the health mental or mental health. Okay. If the condition of the mental of people are good, okay, I think the virus will be disappeared, will be lost. Okay, because the immune of um society come from especially Indonesia is come from you know um apa ya istilahnya, from
That
the
they
from the
are getting stressed or under.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, because they have to stay and then always work at home, right? I mean that this year they need to go home to increase their immunity. Is it true?
Yes, exactly. That's true. They have to face their family to increase their immune system.
Hmm.
That's
It's like that.
the most.
Perhaps it can be more effective than vaccine itself.
Yes, more effective.
Okay.
Okay.
Moreover, because of the pro contra, I mean pro contra of the vaccine Nusantara, for example, that is not what allowed or doesn't follow the step of Badan Pengawas Obat dan Makanan or our institution for watching over the medicine of food, right?
Yes. Even the Chinese from the China government, they have announced that vaccine from them is not good actually.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move to Mr. Adi again. It's about the policy of the vaccines. I mean, the reason of this is because of the vaccination program that now is still implemented by the government. It's like that people now doesn't really need vaccine, but they need to be happy. The happiness, okay, the way to get happiness is by going home to increase their immunity, like Mr. Hamim said before. So, is it true or not, actually, Mr. Uh,
All right.
Adi?
Okay, thank you very much for the time again. So, yeah, your argument actually is very good, but I'm so sorry I'm not with you because if we talk about immunity, or you said before that immunity will increase if we are happy. Yes, I'm actually agree with it. But happiness is not about meeting the family. You can find your happiness elsewhere. It's not about meeting because it's like what I said before. We don't need to meet them. We can use technology to we have like in our head. Oh my God, I want to meet my family. Now we have a technology to do that. And yeah, and also about yeah, you cannot make general. You said before, yeah, our family in our home, in our hometown. I mean, will be happy and our immunity will be increased. That's not all of us. You cannot make it general. It's all maybe just some of us who, I mean, like they are, race. They really miss their family. Only for the people who really miss their family. It's not all of us because, yeah. So if we come back to our perspective or our topic, the main topic is as like what I said before, that going home or mudik is a massive action, and that's very hard to control it. And yeah, the thing that we can do is only prohibited people to go home. I mean, like society to go home. And if we can use that, I mean,
Okay.
in the next, yeah, maybe month or year, 1 year again, the coronavirus will gone. We just distance, we keep our health, so we follow on.
I see. Okay, so it's meant that government action now to prohibit people to move is also for happiness for all of the society, right? It's meant that
Yes.
government now prohibit people to go because they don't want to spread the coronavirus to our family at home. It's like when we are sending the coronavirus to home, it's like we spread not the happiness but sadness for them, especially when they are sick or maybe they are deaf. Is it what you mean, Mr. Adi, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So therefore, actually, government now give this policy, and mean that the action from the government is to protect the society from the COVID-19 spread. All right. So, Mr. Mahasin, actually, there is problem about this one. It is actually what government do is for us. It's not for government itself, but actually for the welfare, for the happiness, for all the people in Indonesia. Therefore, they give this a policy. What is your response, Mr. Mahasin?
But you can your voice again because I not listen.
Yeah, the government said before actually they do this action because they want to keep the happiness on the people in Indonesia. It's like that when they come back home, actually they want to be happy. They carry the virus to the family. Instead of making happy, they make the family sad because of the virus. It's like they are getting sick. The worst thing, they can pass away, for example. It's like that. The government taken action because they want to protect the family, protect the society. So, what your response? Check, Mr. Mahasin. So, is your connection
because
good?
the 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 human you can go home with the family, we can around with family and then make happy, and then I feel I feel I make happy because I not go home with, and then not with family, and then because the 1 years we can silaturahmi with family, yeah,
Mm.
and then just 1 years we can with family, then we can so sorry with friend or with the human in the home.
Okay, it's like that. The good opportunity this year actually to come back to the home and say sorry, say hello to the family again after a year ago. Actually, we are also being prohibited by the government. Okay, I'm so sorry, all of the guests today because we have a limited time. Even that I want to listen from the closing statement from all of you. Actually, the simple statement about the pro and contra actually is about the prohibitions of COVID-19. I mean, prohibition for coming back home in 2021 mudik or lebaran. So I'm going to listen from Mr. Arif first. What is your closing statement, please, before we end our meeting today? Mr. Arif, okay, please give
Yes.
the closing statement for us.
Okay. Yeah, I think once more time that I need to say, as we the people of Indonesians, because this is the greatest moment and it happens once a year. So yeah, then we are still facing about coronavirus. So we wish that we can try to treat ourselves by fascinated, maybe accepting fashion, and also how the rules works well to the society, and that comes back from ourselves.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
thank you.
Thank you. It's been that you really help to be a lot actually to go home. And then Miss Eva, actually from the government delegation.
Okay.
The closing statement, please.
Closing statement. Oh. Yeah. It's actually a good occasion for going home because we're gonna celebrate the Eid Mubarak. But yeah, why not? I mean, we can just hold it first in this year because there will be Eid Mubarak for the next years and the following year. If we already clear the COVID-19 in our country, so we can save a lot of people now and the next.
Okay. So it's been that now the action we have to hold first, don't move anywhere, but actually is for following year because we still want to celebrate Idul Fitri again. If we are now allowed to go home, it's like that we continually spread the coronavirus. I mean, we let the coronavirus spread, and then this year, this policy will happen again. It's like we try to sacrifice our time now for next Mudik in 2022. Is it true? What you mean?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ms. Eva, and also for all of the guests today. I'm so sorry because we just have a limited time, and thank you for all of the viewers watching around Indonesia. And in our discussion today about the prohibitions of COVID-19, prohibition, I mean, of Mudik Lebaran in 2021 because of the COVID-19. COVID-19 actually it is a problem for us that we have to be faced not only by Indonesia but also around the world. And then one of the government action to do is by issuing the policy of Mudik 2021, which is prohibited for all of the people, for the society, and also from the government itself. And our discussion today also still debate or discuss about whether this policy is good or not. The point of our discussion is how we actually protect each other and to keep our health and also avoid the public place and also keep our immunity, and of course we have to stay healthy and stay happy. And thank you very much for watching this discussion to this afternoon. And we hope that actually we have a lot of insight and we have a lot of information about the policy of the government. It's like that we have to protect ourselves actually from the COVID-19 also. Thank you for watching and see you later in the next discussions in Mata Arifin. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi.
Okay, stop recording first.
Yeah, okay, come on. We go to
Bye.